Hello, everybody. My name is Maurice Button. I'm the CEO of City and Financial Global, and it's my great pleasure to be interviewing Amanda Starbuck, who's a member of the UN Secretary General High Level Expert Group on Net Zero Pledges and a Programme Director of the Sunrise Project. And Amanda's going to be joining us on the 7th of February at our Climate Transition Plans for Financial Institutions and Listed Companies Summit, which is being held in central London. Amanda, welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
First of all, Amanda, could you tell us a little bit more about the Sunrise Project and how it will help society address the climate crisis?
So the Sunrise Project, we're a global network of change makers, and we're passionate about building networks who can drive the transition from fossil fuels to clean energy to reduce climate pollution and to create a healthy and prosperous future for everyone. And we focus on the finance sector. That's because the availability and cost of finance and other financial services will determine whether the pipeline of new fossil fuel projects is built and how quickly existing infrastructure is retired. And at a wider level, the political and policy signals that are sent by the finance industry, combined with their muscle as active owners of the global economy, have the potential to create a potent countervailing force against the lobbying power of the fossil fuel industry, and to shift the political and economic context that really shapes government climate policies.
How do the transition plans of financial institutions and corporates fit into your objective of catalysing transformative change of the system?
Well, the conclusion, the inescapable conclusion from climate science is that our window from limiting global warming to the very key threshold of 1.5 degrees C, which has been identified in the Global Paris Agreement as well, that's closing really fast, and all sectors have to take action. Private finance, which stands at the heart of the global economy, has a really vital role to play here, along with government and other actors. So transition plans are the essential tool for driving that change at the corporate and at the institutional level. They make clear the ambition, they set the targets. So it's the plan for the companies to follow, but it's also for other stakeholders, whether that's clients, investors, or staff or directors, can track progress against climate targets as well.
And what do you see as the greatest challenges involved in making transition plans an effective tool?
I'll start by saying that it's really positive that many of the biggest players in the global private finance sector have accepted and stepped up to their role in addressing climate crisis and have set climate targets. So over the last couple of years, we've seen many commitments for net zero 2050 and action plans come into development. So the biggest challenges that I see now are ensuring that ambition at the corporate and institutional level is matching what science tells us is needed, especially when it comes to short and medium term action. Because meeting that 1.5 degrees goal, the target of the Global Paris Accord, as well as the goals of the GFANZ initiatives, requires taking immediate action to halve emissions by 2030, and that's just 8 years away. So we need to see a lot of short and medium term action.
Yeah, it's a very tight target, isn't it, given the current state of play? Shifting finance is a key part of your strategy. How much success have you had so far in cutting the funding to fossil fuels?
Right, we need to see a significant rapid shift of financing out of fossil fuels like oil, coal and gas, and a massive scale up of energy, something like 3 or 4 times the fold into clean energy, scale up of financing by 3 or 4 times into clean energy. To date, only a handful of financial institutions have policies that meaningfully restrict finance to companies developing new fossil fuel projects. We're seeing the most progress by European financial institutions and the most progress on coal. So for example, there are now 9 European banks who've got robust policies to end financial services for companies planning new coal mines and related infrastructure. But meanwhile, the overwhelming majority of financial institutions lack meaningful restrictions of any kind on oil and gas financing. So there's a lot of work to do here.
What's your central message to banks, asset managers and insurers as we start 2023?
Well, achieving the safe climate future is a massive challenge, and one in which the financial sector's actions must be matched by government actions as well as society-wide efforts. And we've seen banks, asset managers and insurers stepping up to make their 2050 climate commitments, their net zero climate commitments, joining the right initiatives. 2023, now is the time for CEOs and directors to show true leadership and take on the hard work of delivering transition plans with the focus on short and medium action to really meet the challenge of financing a net zero world and getting our emissions halved by 2030.
I fully agree. Amanda, I wish we had more time. I could discuss this with you for a lot longer, but we will, of course, be addressing these issues in depth at the summit, the Climate Transition Plans for Financial Institutions and Listed Companies Summit on the 7th of February in London. So I hope that our viewers will be able to join us in person at that event. For the time being, Amanda, thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us.
Oh, thank you for speaking with me today. Looking forward to February 7th.
My pleasure.